the gas pedal down and hope that we can accomplish our goals. And whether that's today, tomorrow, or a month from now, we're not gonna stop until we feel like we've accomplished what we wanted to.
Brody not playing around at the winter meetings. Welcome to Geico Sports Night, lovely people. I'm Chris Williamson. Lots to discuss. What a Sunday for rookie Sam Darnold and Saquon Barkley, both putting on a show for their respective teams. But this week, it's all about the winter baseball meetings in Las Vegas. The Mets and Yankees trying to pull off some game-changing deals to improve their rosters. A lot of eyes on Brodie Van Wagenen for what more blockbuster deals he's got up his sleeve. He said before the meetings, the Cano-Diaz trade was just the first of many. And for more on the meetings, let's send it out now to our Steve Gelbs, who anchors our coverage from Vegas.
Chris, thank you very much, alongside Jim Duquette and Andy Martino. And guys, on Hot Stove, we talked a little bit about this, the fact that the Mets were engaged in a potential three-team deal. Andy, what is the latest that you have on that?
So the latest is that the Mets and the Yankees have been engaged in some trade talks, and there may be other potential three-team deals on the table. So I don't want to overstate what we understand to be the case with the Yankees, but the teams have touched base about Noah Syndergaard, the Mets and Yankees. That's news, obviously. Before, it was no way, the Yankees and Mets don't make trades. And Jim, I am saying this speculatively now.
Right.
I'm not saying there's anything serious going on with the Yankees and Mets and Syndergaard, but we know they have talked, and I will say that it fits Brodie Van Wagenen's MO to be like, I know the Mets and Yankees don't do big trades, but forget tradition, let's try it.
Well, there's no question that, I mean, when you look at what he has done so far, he was aggressive going after Cano and Diaz. So certainly it wouldn't be a surprise to me. We know, I've known Brodie for a long time. It wouldn't be a surprise if he said, well, I'm not going to let the fact that the Yankees here are in the same city deter me from making a deal if it works. I'm not so sure there's a direct trade, in particular. And I think that's what's interesting is he's trying to piece some of this information together. There was a report out there that the Yankees and Marlins were having a conversation too. So there's there's so much speculation that goes on at these meetings. You can try to say, well, maybe there's a three-team trade there. There are plenty of three-team trade conversations going on with the Mets.
Right.
We don't know if it's Mets, Yankees, and other teams, but Mets, Yankees, Marlins, or whatever else is going on.
And I think that's that's one key right now. If you take a step back and just look at how we're all kind of approaching these winter meetings, we're very used to the previous regime where, they say they're looking for a catcher, they say they're looking for a relief pitcher, a right-handed bat, and you think, okay, where are they going to sign that one particular guy? What trade with one particular team? And I think the thing we all heard was that three-team deals, those are things that the Mets are considering in general and are in talks with about potentially acquiring guys that way, getting creative and thinking outside of the box.
So to zoom out with what we presented and what we know right now is that in addition to the things we knew the Mets were pursuing, they're also pursuing three-team trades.
Right.
We know that they have talked to the Yankees, perhaps more than we knew an hour ago and would expect. And we know that at some point, the Mets and the Yankees have broached the idea of Noah Syndergaard. We know that the Yankees are looking for high-end pitching, of course, have talked about Kluber, Bauer. Right now, the Yankees are trying to figure out if they're going to go to a third year on J. Happ, which I am hearing is not likely that the Yankees will do. So somebody like Noah Syndergaard obviously is going to interest them, and that wouldn't be news unless it were the Mets and the Yankees, which it is.
Right. Well, it is. And I know this. I was told this afternoon that the Yankees could fulfill a need or get a player that the Mets have been wanting to acquire. So, and again, maybe they didn't fit directly. And originally I thought, well, there's been a lot of smoke about Corey Kluber out there. Maybe it's a Corey Kluber type of situation. Maybe they can get JT Realmuto. The Yankees certainly have been rumored to try to get Realmuto with dangling Gary Sanchez. So, again, those are the things that we know. Trying to piece it all together is very difficult here.
But we know that there's more going on than we thought, and we should keep our eye on all that.
And obviously, should anything happen, keep it locked to SNY, because we will be back here no matter what does happen with the most up-to-date information. We talk about these three-team deals as kind of outside-the-box thinking of Brodie Van Wagenen, and it was interesting when we had him on our Hot Stove show. He talked a little outside the box about what he was thinking with Peter Alonso. Doubled down on the fact that if Peter Alonso is the best option at first base, he doesn't care about losing that year of control. He is more than open to having him start at first base on opening day for the Mets, which I think is very, very surprising and very unorthodox.
Well, it is when you look around the game. Even the Chicago Cubs with Chris Bryant back when he became a rookie, They held him down in the minor leagues for 2 weeks, and it came up with a lame excuse that he needed to work on the ground ball close to the grass because he's 6'5", and they're like, okay, he's going to be down there for a month. No, they brought him up in 2 weeks, and oh, by the way, there was a grievance that's still being heard with an arbiter. But the Cubs were willing to do it with that type of talent, Bryant. So you would think that the Mets would be willing to do it with a guy like Alonso, just because you can control that extra year. I think it's refreshing when you look at the aggressiveness there that he would take the best player. I think when you're first become a general manager, you're trying to send out messages to your players that if you're deserving to be on the major league club, and you earn it, then you're going to be on the club. And I think that's the message he's certainly sending in this particular case with Peter. And I think you're going to hear that message throughout.
And what's really interesting to me about the answer that Brody gave too is not just Alonso, who's this year's rookie, who's in this conversation, but what it says about really how different Brody's approach is in some ways to his job. Baseball is, in many cases, management versus labor. And Brody's crossing over, and he's a player's guy, and he empathizes with, he played in college at Stanford. That's not nothing either. And he represented players, so he's thinking, and I've talked to him about this, he's thinking, how can I be authentic to myself in management and sort of build that bridge between players and management? And this would be a big gesture.
And that's the key right there, is that this rule, which I think all of us think is kind of ridiculous, it probably ticked him off for years.
As an agent.
As an agent.
For sure.
So it's interesting that now on the other side, he's having a difficult time saying, well, I don't believe that anymore. Definitely a different and refreshing approach, not just to the way you're thinking about that scenario in particular, but the winter meetings in general. This is going to be a fascinating week that's just getting started. Andy Martino, Jim Duquette, I'm Steve Gelbs. We will be back with you should anything happen, but for now, let's send it back to New York and Chris Williamson.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Still ahead, are the Yankees out of the Bryce Harper sweepstakes, or is there still a chance he can play first base in the Bronx? Plus, Sam Darnold led the Jets to a come-from-behind win on Sunday. So how important was the win for the Jets rookie QB? We'll discuss that and much more right here when Sports Night returns.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Once I started looking for car insurance, it was a no-brainer. I switched to Geico and saved hundreds. That's a win. But it's not the only reason I switched. The Geico app makes it easy to manage my policy. I can pay my bill, add a new driver, or even file a claim. Woo! Hey now, that's a win-win. Thank you.
Switch to Geico. It's a win-win.
The hottest new razor is taking the men's grooming world by storm. And if you don't have it, you need it. Micro Touch Solo, the hyper-advanced full-body razor that trims, shapes, edges, and even shaves with micro precision. And it's totally safe to the touch. Go solo for full body control with one tool. No nicks, bumps, or ingrown hairs. Edge beards and goatees with one touch. Clean your neck, barber shop perfect. And check this out. Snap on the guide to tame growth and perfectly shape your full beard. And keep new growth stubble trimmed exactly to your style. And look, the Solo Full Body Groomer trims precisely the length of hair you want. Snap off the guide and remove unwanted hair anywhere in seconds. What makes Solo different than your ordinary razor? Dual-sided German stainless steel blade. Shave up or down at 200 microstrokes per second. The Ultra Flex pivoting head contours perfectly to you for precise results. 3 custom grooming guides for control of exact length and shape. And a built-in LED light so you never miss a spot. Solo is so precise, you need no creams, no soaps, and no water. Ditch the old man clippers and toss the scissors. You've got to go solo. Call 1-800-518-0045 or go online at microtouchsolo.com and get yours now for only $19.99. Complete with German stainless steel blade, pivoting head, built-in spotlight, and 3 custom grooming guides. Everything you see here for just $19.99. The all-new MicroTouch Solo Full Body Groomer. The one tool that does it all.
SNY.TV. All things New York sports. All on one site with easy access to up-to-the-minute news on all of your favorite New York area teams. Only on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports.
Sanchez in a shotgun set. Takes the snap, play fake, pass over the middle. Intercepted by the Giants, and Curtis Riley runs it in for a touchdown. Curtis Riley with about a 7-yard pick six, and the Giants are on the board.
Mark Sanchez couldn't have had a worse day for Washington Sunday. Duke completed 6 passes for 38 yards and threw 2 picks, good for a 10.7 QB rating, and he also lost his job Sunday to Josh Johnson. Sanchez's pitiful play makes Colin Kaepernick's collusion case against the NFL that much stronger. Washington passing on him makes absolutely no sense. He's being denied to play because he peacefully knelt during the anthem to protest police brutality. The football excuses are absurd. Doesn't fit the scheme. Look, Kaepernick replaced Alex Smith on the 49ers and led them to a Super Bowl appearance with a similar offense. Hasn't played in 2 years. Same amount of time for Sanchez, and Johnson hadn't thrown a pass since 2011. Nobody signs a guy who's suing the league. See Eric Reed with the Panthers, who has a collusion case as well. Oh, Cap's presence would be a circus. Washington didn't seem to mind the circus when signing alleged domestic violence abuser Reuben Foster. Look, Cap is good. He ranks 4th all-time in TDs to interceptions ratio. He probably won't play another down, but there's a bigger picture here. MOK said the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. 50 years from now, who will be on that bend? The league, which values women beaters, or Cap, whose only crime is kneeling for social justice? I'll let you decide. While Sanchez was stinking it up, Saquon Barkley tore up the Washington's defense. The rookie ran mad for 170 yards on 14 carries and 1 TD. The performance had everybody in awe of his speed and dynamic ability, but Monday Barkley shifted the focus to how it's bigger than just him.
Coach said the teams beat teams. Players don't beat teams, and you can go for 400 yards and lose the game. When obviously playing at a high level helps, but just getting a win in general, it just sits different in your stomach. No matter if you played well or you played bad. Obviously, when you play bad, just a competitor, you want to do better. But at the end of the day, all that matters about that win and the team coming together and getting a win.
Sam Darnold looked special in the 4th quarter against Buffalo. The rookie completed a sensational on-the-run TD to tie the game, and then a 34-yard beauty to allow Gang Green to secure the game-winning touchdown. Here's Darnold on the gutsy call to go for it on 4th and goal.
For us, it was really good for our O-line especially, to just be able to pound the rock and keep doing it all day and then finish the game that way. I think was really special for our guys. But yeah, I knew right coming off after that 3rd down, I kind of saw that look in Coach Bull's eyes, and knew that I thought, knew that we were going to be able to go for it, and that he felt confident going for it.
Time now for Football Night in New York. We're joined by SNY NFL insider Ralph Vacchiano and Connor Hughes of The Athletic, lead Jets writer. We're talking Jets and Giants. Start with the Jets. Sam Darnold looked like a wily veteran out there, Connor. Such a great performance in the 4th. How big was that performance coming back from an injury to do that?
Well, I think it was huge, Chris, because of the role that he played in the comeback. If the Jets had, say, Morris Claiborne intercepted a pass and ran it down to the 2-yard line, and the Jets ran it in from there to set up the first touchdown. And then the second drive, a fluky play, maybe another turnover, and again, they punch it in from right out, and Sam Darnold doesn't really play too much of a role. That's one thing. It's still a 4th quarter comeback. He still led the Jets back, but it maybe isn't necessarily a game in which he single-handedly brought the Jets back. But this comeback, Sam Darnold is the reason why the Jets won this game. That first touchdown drive, which tied this game, he drove them 11 plays, or he drove them 85 yards in 11 plays. The second drive, where he ended up winning the game, again, 9 plays, 61 yards. And in those drives, he made the plays to get the Jets down there.
Yeah, we assume around here that every quarterback can do that because we've been spoiled. We've seen Eli Manning do it a million times. But the fact is, not every quarterback who plays in the NFL has the ability to carry a team down the field like that. Granted, this wasn't a championship game, but it was still an important game to him and to the Jets. And the fact that he can do that at 21 years old, coming back from an injury, and after his previous 3 games really had him in a tailspin, it's a positive sign about the future. And remember, that's what this season is all about, finding the positive signs to make sure that the Jets believe that Sam Darnold is their guy going forward.
And another rookie who was very impressive, Saquon Barkley, just tore up the Washington defense without OBJ. Going forward, should the offense run through Saquon Barkley and not OBJ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Giants have talked about it for years about how a running game is supposed to be the engine that makes them go, even in this pass-first league, in this era of just offensive explosion. But you see what a running back can do. And Pat Shurmur, as far back as the offseason, talked about how a dual-threat running back can be such an important cog in what he wants to do on offense. It seems amazing almost that it took them this long to get to that point, but you have to remember that the Giants' offensive line was so bad earlier in the season that Saquon Barkley couldn't really do a whole lot on the short runs. You could do, had those spectacular ones, but that was really it. Now that the line is blocking better, we see how effective he can be, and it opens up everything else on the offense. They have to build everything around this kid.
And that's the key. It opens up everything else on offense. Just because this offense is going to run through Barkley and Barkley is going to be the featured part of this offense, that doesn't mean that Sterling Shepard and Odell Beckham, this doesn't mean that these guys aren't going to have a role, because as soon as Barkley gets going, you've got to drop a safety in the box, right? Suddenly you're looking at 8 and 9 man fronts. That means it's man-to-man coverage on the outside. And when Eli puts that ball out there and they play fake it to Barkley and everyone takes that one step up, suddenly Beckham's running a yard, running down the field with a yard, 2 yards of separation, and no one's going to catch him when he has that. So, I think it maybe receives a little bit of a negative connotation when you're saying, oh, it's going to run through Barkley, not Beckham. It's going to run through this guy, not that guy. It's all going to work together. And just because Barkley is the thing that gets this thing rolling doesn't mean everyone else isn't going to put up their stats and numbers too.
Saquon Barkley has 5 TDs of 50 yards or more, the most of any rookie since Randy Moss back in 1998. Ralph, Connor, thanks so much. Still to come, are the Bombers finally saying no to bringing Harper to the Bronx? A lot more hot stove talk to get right here when Sports Night returns.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Tape Clear, the super strong waterproof tape that's clearly the best way to patch, bond, seal, and repair. Flex Tape's triple thick adhesive instantly bonds to the surface, stopping the toughest leaks while remaining virtually invisible. Plus, Flex Tape Clear is so strong, it even works underwater. Now you can repair pools and spas with a clear, watertight seal, and even make quick repairs without changing the look of your beautiful surfaces. Now it's easy to fix rips and tears. Plus, Flex Tape Clear holds on tight, even when wet. Flex Tape Clear is perfect for emergency auto repairs and lets light pass right through. Boats, campers, trailers, and RVs. Now everything in plain sight can be sealed watertight. To show you the power of Flex Tape Clear, I cut a giant hole in another boat and repaired it with only Flex Tape Clear. Not only does Flex Tape Clear's powerful adhesive keep all the water out of the boat, but even in shark-infested waters, it creates a super strong watertight barrier that seals out the elements, and you can see right through. And even in the most extreme conditions, Flex Tape Clear can take a pounding and holds on tight. I think I'm gonna need a bigger boat. Wahoo! Guys? Hello? Where'd everybody go? You get a large roll of Flex Tape Clear for just $19.99. Plus, we'll include a handy can of Flex Seal, Flex Shot, Flex Glue, or Flex Seal Liquid. Call right now. That's amazing!
My mom works for Chevy. My dad works for Chevy. We're all part of the Chevy family.
And right now, so are you.
Because our Chevy employee discount is now available to everyone.
The Chevy price you pay is what we pay.
And not a cent more.
Welcome to the family.
Current qualified competitive lessees can use the employee discount for everyone to lease this cruise for around $159 a month. Or get over $4,600 below MSRP when you purchase and finance with GM Financial.
To the team in the Bronx, Yanks GM Brian Cashman spoke about both prize free agents Manny Machado and Bryce Harper Monday. For more, let's go out to Vegas with SNY baseball insider Sweeney Murdy.
There are two big fish here at the winter meetings, Manny Machado, Bryce Harper. The Yankees loosely connected to both of them. On Monday, Brian Cashman admitted that he has met with Machado's agent, Dan Lozano, multiple times. Machado could fill the void left by Didi Gregorius' injury. could be costly, of course. Brian Cashman continued to throw cold water on Bryce Harper as a Yankee, citing all of his outfielders and no need at that position. Of course, that includes Jacoby Ellsbury and Clint Frazier, both coming off of injuries. As for pitching, the Yankees said they did not make a formal offer for Patrick Corbin. Jay Happ is still a possibility. Lance Lynn is even a possibility. There's also trade possibilities. Sonny Gray has received interest from 11 different teams, according to Cashman. If the Yankees get a certain return for Gray, that could spin off possibly into another deal that might land them Corey Kluber or Trevor Bauer. A lot of wheels in motion here for the Yankees to try to figure out how to fill their needs. As for the relief market, which tends to heat up at the winter meetings, the Yankees and Mets are looking at some of the same options, like David Robertson and Andrew Miller.
And speaking of those Yankees, could they be engaged in major discussions with the Mets? Our Andy Martino tweeting sources. Mets and Yankees have touched base about Syndergaard, but it's not known if he's in the exact deal that's been ongoing. Those ongoing talks involve the possibility of JT Realmuto heading to the Mets. Time now for Baseball Night in New York with Mark Malusis, Sal Licata, and Anthony McCarron. Again, nothing appears concrete, guys, but would you trade Syndergaard if it meant landing JT Realmuto?
No. I mean, we've said this before. I don't know if there's anybody that wants Realmuto on the Mets more than me. We've been talking about it for a couple of years here. But I've also said at the same time, I wouldn't do it if it meant trading Syndergaard to the Marlins. You think I would trade Syndergaard to the Yankees? I'm sorry. I love the aggression from Van Wagenen. That is a move you cannot make. Go out and sign a free agent catcher. Trade for another one. If that's what you have to do to get Realmuto, trade Syndergaard to the Yankees, you cannot do it. As simple as that.
Well, I mean, they're having the talks and they're having the conversation. I'd be stunned if it happened. I really would be. But last week I did mention that the Yankees, I think their best pitching option after all the things dried up, Jay Happ, I said, go call the Mets and go get Noah Syndergaard. Oh, no, never. They're never going to have a conversation, never going to transpire. Those talks will never happen. They'll hang up the phone. And now you're seeing what's going on in Las Vegas. Well, listen, I mean, the fact of the matter it remains is the Marlins, we do know, are enamored with Gary Sanchez. The Mets are enamored with JT Realmuto. The Yankees already said they're not trading Gary Sanchez for JT Realmuto. So the only guy that you'd get back conceivably to pair off Sanchez would be like a guy like Noah Syndergaard, because just as the Mets have said, oh, you know what, it'd have to be the right deal to trade Noah Syndergaard, the Yankees have also said it'd have to be the perfect deal to trade Gary Sanchez, but we're basically off the table.
It's great to be the new swashbuckler in town, isn't it, guys? You know, Brody breaking all these rules that we've known about the Mets and the Yankees making big deals together in the past by actually entertaining the idea of sending Syndergaard in a trade to the Bronx. Now, that sounds great. You know, you can't reduce the number of teams that you deal with in this business. The goal is improving, all that sort of stuff. Love it, except when you see the idea pops into your head, Noah Syndergaard in pinstripes. Now, I don't care who's on the Mets after that. That's a nightmare scenario for them. How about him raising his arms after a playoff victory, pitching the Yankees to a playoff win? Tell me about the swashbuckling Brody Van Wagenen there. I mean, I think there'd be people, Met fans, would be very, very angry about that.
Unless you win.
JT Realmuto better beat Johnny Bench then.
I can see it now. Syndergaard already throwing a couple no-hitters with the Yanks. Here's the thing. You can't do it. There are certain trades you can't. This is one of them. You cannot do it.
There's other ways to get Realmuto.
Well, here's why they want to do it. They want to do it because they believe their starting pitching is a strength. So they remove Syndergaard from that, but they still have DeGrom and Wheeler and Matz, and they can round out the rotation, and they don't have to give up Rosario and Nimmo. Nonsense. Syndergaard much more valuable. Trade Rosario and Nimmo.
But they don't. I mean, Van Wagenen already said he doesn't want to create another hole in order to resolve an issue, so they're not going to. It doesn't appear that they want to trade.
Well, who do you think's more valuable, Syndergaard or those two?
Listen, I'm not telling you, but if you're telling me who's more valuable, the everyday position player or the starting pitcher, I'm going to tell you the everyday position player.
Over Syndergaard?
Well, but not at those levels, though, Moose.
Has Syndergaard won 20 games yet?
No, he's pitched great in the postseason in 15 and 16.
No, but if you look at it,
look
at the way the Cubs have built it, and look at the way the Yankees have built it. Have they built it the right way? For long, sustained success, what do they build around? They build around everyday players. They built around everyday players, not around the starting rotation.
But
the Yankees
what are the
not
Yankees
built
trying to get right now?
Because they're doing what the Cubs have tried to do.
They're trying to get.
No. They have the starters, they have the everyday players, and they're trying to supplement that with starting pitching. That's what the Yankees are trying to do, and have the understanding of they can replace Sanchez's bat with other free agents.
But how does trading Syndergaard jibe with Brody's declaration of not creating a hole to fill a hole? That's what I don't get. Because then who is your replacement?
They look at the starting rotation as being a strength.
Yeah.
That's the issue you have.
Yeah, but then there's one big hole in one of those slots.
The idea that you can't trade Sanchez and get better as a team, in Syndergaard and get better as a team is nonsense. You can. It has to be the right deal. I'm not telling you this is the right deal. And I think they'd get more back than just JT Realmuto.
Yeah, I would be very shocked if this deal actually goes.
I think we all would.
Yes, I think we'd all be surprised. It's not going to happen.
All right, Moose.
It's fantasy land.
Very fantasy land. Moose, Sal, Anthony, thanks so much. Still more baseball ahead. Peter Alonso was at the winter meetings in Vegas talking about his chances to make his major league debut next season. We'll hear from the first baseman right here when Sports Night returns.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
I can't believe it.
That Grandpa's nose is performing Flight of the Bumblebee?
Now, you goof. I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Nice.
I know, right?
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And transmit.
Commence countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blast off! Not one, not two, but 10 recliners to choose from, each only $2.99.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Gift cards available at mybobs.com.
Place your deposit for 2019 New York Jets season tickets today. Don't miss exciting matchups with the Giants, Cowboys, Steelers, Patriots, and more. Lock in the lowest ticket prices and receive exclusive benefits at nyjets.com/season tickets.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
SNY.TV. All things New York sports, all on one site, with easy access to up-to-the-minute news on all of your favorite New York area teams, featuring insider info, opinion, scores, stats, exclusive interviews, and video features, constantly updated by bloggers as passionate about New York sports as you are. Only on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports.
Brodie Van Wagenen said multiple times that Peter Alonso will be the Mets' starting first baseman on opening day. Now, that remains to be seen if it will be true. Alonso batted .285 with 31 doubles and 36 home runs in the minor leagues last year. He's licking his chops to be in the majors come opening day.
Every year is a new opportunity to prove what you can do. And this offseason, it's really exciting. It's like every time I wake up and go to the gym, it's like it's something like that's like tangible to work for. Because past two off seasons, like I want to get bigger and stronger so I can have a good season. But I mean, this off season, it feels like the stars are sort of aligning, and I mean, it's just super tangible. Where it's like, you know what, like this is I know I have a chance, and I just want to make the most of my opportunity.
We are out of time here on Geico Sports Night, but stay with SNY and SNY.TV all day for the latest from the winter meetings and all the trades for both the Mets and the Yankees. Have a great Tuesday, everyone.